in crisis in our country, and those who have showcased exceptional contributions in building national resilience. To formally begin our program, may we call on the National Defense Secretary Gilberto C. Teodoro Jr. to deliver his opening remarks.
To His Excellency President Ferdinand R. Marcos, ASEC Rafi Alejandro, the OIC of the OCD, our Chief of Staff, Chief PNP, our Mayor, Emmy, and the awardees, colleagues in government, pleasant good afternoon to each and every one of you. Annually, we hold the Gawad Kalasag Awards in order to give recognition to those LGUs and NGOs who have demonstrated advancements in disaster risk reduction in all its phases. And the NGOs and private corporations, civil society who help the cause of disaster resilience in our country. The past few months have demonstrated the need for disaster risk reduction awareness, cascading these down, the awareness principles per category down to the lowest political unit and down to each and every citizen, with the end in view of developing conditioned responses to particular emergencies. We also have underscored the need of having safe havens and places like evacuation centers to consider the anticipated worst-case scenarios of disasters. We also have developed, together with our partner agencies, the AFP, the PNP, the Philippine Coast Guard, the CAAP, and the other agencies, the need to develop routes of supply, supply chains, and to make not merely a supply chain, but a supply train of continuous delivery of services and goods to camps that we will make to manage disasters. We also have partnered with international and local agencies, most specifically the DNR and other international agencies, to make our awareness on the big picture, not only of disasters as they are happening or close by, but also in conjunction with our theme to make decisions based on anticipated effects without fear of making errors, just as long as we err on the side of conservatism. And we have to be bold in making these guesses because we are there to save lives, and preparation and awareness, and with a built-in margin for conservatism, will save lives in the future. Lastly, we encourage our legislators, both local and national, to fully support the President's integrated infrastructure and connectivity plans. At the end of the day, this is the major intervention that will result in sustainability, in supplyability, in safety of communities, and to ensure our supply chains. Therefore, we thank the President for his leadership in proactively anticipating and managing both natural and avoiding man-made calamities. As an example, the activation of the Task Force El Nino early on, which anticipated slow onset calamities and not major calamities was a step in instilling institutional reactions without creating permanent infrastructures that will have a life of its own, not relevant to immediate response and preparation of disasters. As we know, this created the El Nino portal, which will convert into a national disaster risk reduction portal where we will have access, depending on the security classification of the user, adequate information, most specifically for planning of the local government units. Then again, we thank once again the President for his leadership. We thank the local government units present for their leadership within their communities for tailoring disaster risk reduction measures to the specific requirements of the different communities down to the barangay level. And we thank our civic organizations in the cause of resilience for the Philippines to make a strong Philippines under the theme Bagong Pilipinas. Thank you very much and good afternoon.
Thank you very much to our National Defense Secretary, Secretary Gilbert Chodoro, for his kind introduction. Please take your seats. The Office of the Civil Defense OCD Officer in Charge, Assistant Secretary Bernardo Rafaelito Alejandro. Of course, our constant host, Pasay City Mayor Imelda Calixto Rubiano. The officials and employees of the Office of Civil Defense, the awardees of the 24th Gawad Kalasag National Awards, my fellow workers in government, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. The bravery, the resilience, the ingenuity and compassion of the Filipinos always prevails, especially in times of crisis. We are proud of these qualities, though sometimes born out of harsh necessity. We already know that the Philippines is one of the most disaster-prone countries in the world. The Philippines has frequently been visited by typhoons, exacerbated now by climate change, and is situated in the Pacific Ring of Fire, as evidenced now. But what we are experiencing with the Canlaon eruption. And we are known, therefore, for volcanic and seismic activities. During the first half of the year, the first crisis that we faced was El Nino, where we had 6 months, there was no rain that came down to the Philippines from November of last year, extending into the second, even the third quarter of this year. Now, we have the typhoons that have come with the anticipation of La Nina. Now, the eruption and continuing unrest of Canlaon has covered its neighboring places with ashfall. And all of this compel us to establish a culture of preparedness and institutionalize disaster risk reduction and management practices across all sectors. Today, we honor and give recognition to individuals, LGUs, academic institutions, medical facilities, individuals and other organizations who have demonstrated the unwavering commitment towards achieving resilience. Thank you and congratulations to all of you. They are our awardees for today. This 24th Gawad Kalasag Seal and Special Awards for Excellence in Disaster Risk Reduction and Management and Humanitarian Assistance highlights that building resilience is not the task of one single entity, but a collective effort that needs a whole of government, in fact, a whole of society approach. The recipients of these awards have gone above and beyond to ensure the safety and well-being of their respective communities. Tunay pong ipinapakita ninyo ang pagmamahal sa pakikipagkapwa. At sa gitna ng mga hamon sa buhay, pinili ninyong maglingkod sa inyong komunidad para sa ating mga kababayan. Courageous, compassionate, and determined, our selfless volunteers face strong currents to rescue those in need. You are the innovators who pioneered new technologies for disaster preparedness, organizations that champion people participation for a more transformed DRRM strategies and decision-making that has ensured that every plan is done properly and is executed efficiently. Kasama sa bibigyan natin ng parangal ngayon ang dalawang matatapang na estudyante na sina Ginoong John Nino Suarez at Emer June Doner sa Lawis Marine Sanctuary Park sa Poro, Cebu, noong Marso ng nakaraang taon. Ipinamalas nila ang tapang ng sagipin nila ang isang kababayang nalulunod sa gitna ng malakas na alon. Bagamat pareho silang may kasanayan na sa basic life support, wala pa silang sapat na training sa water rescue ng panahon na yon. Kaya naman, tunay na kapuri-puri ang pinakita nilang tapang at karapat-dapat na tawagin silang bilang bayani. Kinikilala rin natin ang hindi matatawarang kontribusyon ni Ginoong Rafael Paing Valencia sa pagsulong ng mga makabagong patakaran at paggamit ng mga modernong teknolohiya sa pagpapabuti ng DRM practice. Kabilang na rito ang paglikha ng pagtatatag ng 911 On-Call Incorporated, ang pailaw at pabahay program na layong tumulong sa pagkumpuni ng mga bahay na nasa mga pinakaliblib at mahirap na mga lugar. At ang pagsagawa ng mobile vaccination para sa mga malalayong barangay. Ang kanyang serbisyo ay nagsisilbing patunay na kapag pinagsama ang pagkamalikhain at malasakit sa kapwa, nagbubunga ito ng makabuluhang pagbabago para sa ikabubuti nating lahat. Dahil dito, kaisa ko ang sambayan ng Pilipino sa pagsasaludo at pagkikilala sa inyong mahahalagang kontribusyon at tagumpay. Maraming salamat sa inyong sakripisyo, sa inyong pagsusumikap at sa inyong dedikasyon. In line with our collective commitment to building more disaster-resilient communities, I recently signed the Ligtas Pinoy Centers Act. This mandates the establishment of designated evacuation centers in every city and municipality nationwide, providing temporary but secure shelter to displaced Filipinos during calamities and disasters. The increasing frequency and intensity of hazardous events have provided us with insights that have shaped our approach and have saved many lives. Many of those lessons we learned from you. It has become imperative that our DRRM system undergoes continuous improvement to address evolving circumstances. It includes our individual obligation to follow proactive, vigilant, and adaptable strategies for our own and our community's safety. I once again call on the NDRMC and all other concerned agencies and the LGUs, always our first responders, to continue working together to develop innovative solutions that are science-based, that are sustainable, and are future-ready, and establish clear guidelines for more effective disaster response. Let us be guided by the Build Back Better strategy in recovery, rehabilitation, and in reconstruction. It is about coming together as a community, lifting one another, emerging stronger than before. In the spirit of this holiday season, let us remember our fellow Filipinos in need, especially those who are still now affected by recent calamities. Let us always extend a helping hand and always include them in our thoughts and in our prayers. As long as we are united to help uplift each other, I am very certain, and knowing the Filipino culture and the Filipino spirit, I know that we can turn challenges into opportunities, pave the way for safer, stronger, and more secure bagong Pilipinas. For our part in government, we are consolidating and putting together all of the new technologies, all of the best practices. It is unfortunate that we have become, the Philippines has become the example and of how to handle these calamities and these disasters. It is unfortunate because we have had to learn those hard lessons through bitter experience. But nevertheless, that has served us well, especially now that we face a new normal. It is a phrase that we have been hearing since Yolanda, but it is a fact that this is the new normal, and therefore we need to think ahead of it. Whereas before, dati ang ating pagka may parating na bagyo, inaantay na lang natin, sabi na, padaanin muna natin yung bagyo, padaanin muna natin yung putok ng bulkan, padaanin muna natin yung lindol, bago natin puntahan ang mga nasa lanta. Ngayon, hanggat maaari, lindol, mahirap naman ma-predict yan. Pero yung putok ng bulkan, yung bagyo, nakikita na rin natin, inuunahan na natin. At yan talaga sa palagay ko, pinakamahalaga na pagbabago sa ating approach dito sa sa disaster relief, disaster rehabilitation. Dahil pag inantay pa natin na magkakaproblema, ay yun na nga, doon tayo nagkakaroon ng malaking casualty. Ang napakalaking bagay, kagaya ng ating laging ginagawa, unang-una ay yung evacuation. Para lahat ng mga nasa lugar na delikado ay hindi na mailagay sa mga lugar na ligtas. Tapos, ang ating mga sistema ng komunikasyon sa mga NGO, sa mga LGU, at saka sa national government ay pinapatibay natin. Pangatlo, yung ating mga evacuation centers, pinapatibay pa natin, nagtatayo tayo ng mga bago, iba na po ang design na ginagamit natin. Dahil palakas nga ng palakas, pangkaraniwan na lang yung 230 kilometers. Pangkaraniwan na lang yung mga gustiness of 350 kilometers. Kaya yung mga dati nating evacuation center, kailangan pagandahin pa, patibayin pa, para hindi tayo magkaproblema doon sa mga linikas na ating mga kababayan. Yan po ay natutunan namin sa inyong karanasan. These are examples that we have picked up from the best practices in the different areas, from the LGUs, from the NGOs, from the private sector, who have always been our full partners in this effort. So once again, congratulations to all the awardees. Maraming salamat. Mabuhay kayong lahat. Maraming salamat sa serbisyo ninyo. Mabuhay ang bagong Pilipinas.
Thank you, Mr. President. And now, may we request the President to kindly grant us a photo opportunity. Likewise, may we request the National Defense Secretary to join the photo opportunity. May we call on stage OCD senior management officials. OCD regional directors, please stand by. Thank you. Please exit to your right. OCD regional directors, please proceed on stage. Thank you. Please exit to your right. And that ends our photo opportunity. And that concludes our program. Thank you, Mr. President, for gracing the 24th Gawad Kalasag National Awarding Ceremony. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. We would like to request everyone to please remain in your respective places until the President has left the venue.